Hey guys, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I hope you enjoyed this interview. All right, welcome back. Taiwo Ajetunmobi, Senior Special Assistant to the President on PEBEC and Investment, is also the Chief Operating Officer at PEBEC Secretariat. He joins me. Hello, Taiwo. Welcome to the program.
Hello, Nancy. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. Good to have you. Your 2023 Business Facilitation Act Compliance Report, a 52-page report, I would say that I actually have read it. Yep. But for the benefit of Nigerians, speak to me. Just give me a summary in a minute, of what the report is about and why it is necessary.
Fantastic. So this is the 8th in a series of reports that were released over the years. We typically will release this report every year. And once in a while, we'll do a mid-year version of the report. What the report seeks to do is essentially track the performance of MDAs, particularly MDAs that are critical to the business community, on two things: transparency and efficiency. And efficiency with respect to the service level agreements that they have previously committed to the Nigerian public.
Okay. So speak to me about your findings. I saw Standard Organization of Nigeria on top with like 60-something%.
Yeah.
That's not an A for me, though.
I agree with you.
I remember when I was in school, I would study a lot to get an A, and definitely it's not 60%.
I agree with you. And I think that it's a journey. What we find on the transparency side, actually, is that several of the MDAs score particularly well. The top 5 agencies on the transparency side all score above 85%. But what you're seeing on the efficiency side is that there's a lag. And that points, I think, to the gaps of the systems and the structures within the MDAs. Our response to that is to support the MDAs to institutionalize structures within the organization itself. So for instance, following the release of this report, we're working with MDAs to set up BFA implementation committees within each MDA. These committees will be manned by senior management officials of the MDAs, which basically means that the MDAs will take ownership over driving the implementation of the Business Facilitation Act, and that should result in better service delivery to the Nigerian public.
Can you now give me perhaps a few of the rankings and which organizations did well, perhaps the top 3 or top 5?
Sure.
And the last, I also saw there were many agencies that were scoring 0, 0, 0, 0.
And
the last time Dr. Jumoke was here, she actually did tell me, of course, whether some did not see it or some actually said, okay, they will engage later. Now, a few agencies also have new heads.
Correct.
Have you also been able to communicate with these new heads of agencies?
Okay, so I'll take the first part of the question. So the first 5 or top 5 performing MDAs overall across both dimensions will be the NCDMB. This is the agency responsible for local content in the oil and gas industry. Standards Organization of Nigeria, CAC, FCCP, which is the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection. It's a mouthful. Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, as well as NEXIM. Now, it's important to note that we work with 53 MDAs, and this report tracks only 39 of them. Having said that, I'll come to the second part of your question. Yes, some MDAs still score low on efficiency, and it's mostly tied to the reporting mechanism. With our work with them to institutionalize ownership of the BFA process, we expect that will change. So Nigerians should expect a lot more information about all the MDAs. No MDA scored 0 overall, just to be clear. All right? I know it's building blocks, so this is one step in the right direction.
But I saw, is it NCR collateral registry? Let me open the report again, because, or is it that I was seeing double?
So you saw that on the efficiency side.
Okay.
But the overall score,
okay.
None of them scored 0, yes.
Okay. I talked about the ease of doing business at the beginning of this program, and I don't know how concerned the PEBEC Secretariat is. Thank goodness you are the Chief Operating Officer, so I suppose that you and your team meet with categories of not just even agencies and businesses, because even Dr. Jumoke told me something the last time she was here in terms of even engaging with earlier on, like small businesses. You guys have what they call, is it business champions or something?
Yes.
But my question now is around businesses. We've seen in the last 1 year or so, we've seen businesses that have left Nigeria or that are even on the verge of leaving Nigeria. For example, I think Unilever actually said that it's going to cut its production. We've seen Sanofi. We've seen, I was taking a look at, is it PZ Cousins results. We've seen GSK for example. How is your secretariat working? Because majority of what they have said is around the ease of doing business. We still have those fundamental structural issues. So I don't know how your secretariat is working around that, because if the small businesses we have in terms of the handful of multinationals that we have in Nigeria leaving, I can imagine what will happen.
So,
and our small businesses are not strong enough to be able to take the capacity of, even though they take capacity of labor, but you understand what I mean. They are not even scaling up.
Correct.
To medium to big businesses.
The challenge is real, right? We've all seen it in the Nigerian economy. We've gone through pretty challenging times. But I'll tell you what we're now hearing from private sector, right? And I'm glad you brought up the PEBEC Business Champions Program, which is a program that seeks to support businesses that generate over $1 billion of revenue in Nigeria, operating from Nigeria. And think about these businesses as the flag bearers of the Nigerian economy, and really streamline their regulatory journey and make it much easier for them to essentially scale their business. What we're hearing from them is positive news. It's saying that they're seeing the impact of the reforms, particularly calling out the work at the central bank, by the central bank governor, to stabilize FX. And they're saying that, you know what, this is good news. We're still cautiously optimistic. We expect that this will need to be sustained, but as a business, we're happy to see the direction that this is going. So, I think we've turned the corner as an economy. Certainly, I'm not responsible for the economy, so I can't speak too much on that. But there's still a lot of work to be done improving the business environment, particularly with interventions around the regulatory experience of businesses. And beyond that, to the work that we do at PEBEC, even legislative interventions as well, judicial-related interventions as well. How much do we care about it? A lot. This is exactly why we exist. And over the years, we've built a wide portfolio of interventions to address this exact issue from different directions.
How about for government agencies that really interface with businesses? For example, have we actually seen more reforms? Because I know in the last few years, PEBEC has done a few things around perhaps reforms in airports, passports, and all of that. Are there a few more that we're expecting? That's one. The second question is the Secretariat actually also working with the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment? And I know why I'm saying this, because that ministry is saddled with making the ease of business in Nigeria better. So it's not that you guys are just at the presidential level
and disconnected from,
and you are disconnected from.
Yes, I hear you completely. I hear you completely. So I'll speak about something we're doing right now, which is a 90-day regulatory reform accelerator. And this reform accelerator seeks to implement 24 different reforms across 39 different agencies supervised by 14 different ministries. Just to give you a sense of how wide our scope is and how far we reach across the Nigerian regulatory landscape. So yes, we do work very closely with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, as well as other agencies that are critical to businesses in Nigeria. We expect the regulatory accelerator to be concluded May 20. And we'll report on it, right? We're very happy to publish reports and talk about how MDAs are performing. And for each MDA, they have a comprehensive set of reforms that they have committed to and are currently right now working on. So my message to the Nigerian business community is to maintain hope, to give the reforms a chance, to give it some time, and you should start to see the impact of an improved regulatory environment in the coming months.
Coming months? What time to what time? From now to the end of the year?
So I will let the regulators, take that one on, but we certainly are there as PEBEC to support them through this journey. And the other thing I will also mention is that this is not PEBEC driving a regulatory reform agenda. It's the regulators themselves, right? They all live in this country. They all experience what the average Nigerian experiences. And they know that the watchword now is really to fight for the competitiveness and productivity of the Nigerian economy. And so the work we're doing with them is really to support them to continue to remove the bottlenecks that Nigerian businesses face as they interact with the different agencies. Okay,
finally, is there anything else I haven't asked you that you would like to say, because we just have a minute?
I would like to speak about our sector-specific reforms with respect to the airports and the ports. I think we have a lot of work to do there. Call out, the work being done by FAN and other agencies at the airport.
All the ACs are working now. I haven't been to the airports lately.
Part of the 90-day accelerator.
And the toilets are working and in good shape.
Well, I've been through them. Things are looking better. And, the important thing is that the leadership knows, the job that they have to do. With respect to the ports, there's a lot of work being done by the federal government now. The president recently inaugurated a committee to implement the National Single Window Project, which is critical. That will remove a ton of inefficiency at the port. So my message to the Nigerian business community is to be hopeful, and to engage with the process. I think Nigeria will not, Nigeria is really going to be dependent on how much expectation you have. So please raise your expectations and we will definitely step to the plate.
Is there a place to report?
Absolutely. So we have a website called reportgov.ng, and this is a portal that allows the business community to report specific issues that they're experiencing, whether it's delays or not hearing back from MDAs. And that platform is manned by the PEBEC Secretariat. Essentially, it's manned by the presidency. We then appropriately direct those inquiries to the right MDAs, and the MDAs are required to respond very quickly.
Do you follow up? Because it's one thing to send an email, it's one thing to get a response. Because many times, that's why you see a lot of people go on X and tag, especially it happens under the central banks handle a lot. You see, and they'll tag CBN. And once you tag CBN, the bank is
they then respond.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So absolutely. So we do follow up, but more importantly, what we found is that when Nigerians know about this portal, they use it again and again. About 70% of the users that use the portal are return users. So I do encourage business owners out there to check out reportgov.ng. Okay.
Thank you very much, Taiwo.
Thank you, Nancy.
For coming on the show. So let's do this again sometime.
Sure, looking forward to it.
All right, I've been speaking with Taiwo Ajetunmobi. I used to have a teacher in school, in secondary school, that was Mr. Ajetunmobi.
I'm sure it was a fantastic teacher.
Yeah, yes, he was. All right, Taiwo Ajetunmobi, Senior Special Assistant to the President on PEBEC and Investment. He is also the Chief Operating Officer at PEBEC Secretariat. That's the much we can take on today's edition of the program. I hope you've taken a lot from today's session. CNG buses, very soon will be out. You can actually report if there's any agency that is giving you wahala. And they will give you feedback. I'll see you all again tomorrow, same time on this station. Be the best you can be. I'm going to change that. You want to see I am Nancy Naji, signing out. Bye. Thank you for watching. In case this is your first time watching us, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, drop your comments as well as like, and most of all, share our content.